So I went to buy chlorine today, and you used to be able to get 2 gallons in a box for like 4 something. It's now $17 for 2 gallons of chlorine. Catch me swimming in my swamp, guys, because I have no clue how the hell people are going to afford this.
I know there's already like thousands of other videos out there about the housing crisis in Canada, but I'm just gonna add to it a little bit more. So I recently moved in with my partner. We are living in a 3-bedroom townhouse in Langley, British Columbia. Langley, British Columbia. I need to specify Langley, not Vancouver. We are an hour at least outside of Vancouver, depending on traffic. And our rent is $3,300 a month. Like no utilities, just $3,300 just for rent. And I was telling this to some of my coworkers today who are a bit older than me, like 10, 15 years older, who either have been living in their place for a while or they own a place. And they were shook. They were shocked. They did not realize that $3,300 a month was the going rate. And actually, we got a good deal. The going rate in our neighborhood of Willoughby is like $3,500 for what we have. I actually have a coworker who lives in Surrey, which is like 25 minutes away, closer to Vancouver. She has like a 3,000 square foot house on like this huge property, and she only pays $2,400 a month for her mortgage because she bought her house like, I don't know, a decade ago. And it is bonkers to me that in Langley, British Columbia, it is $3,300, and that's a good deal, for a 3-bedroom townhouse. And I used to live in Vancouver. I had to move out to Langley because it was cheaper. I couldn't afford Vancouver anymore. And $3,300 is absolutely not affordable. And my partner and I, we make a decent income together. We are a dual income, no kids situation. And to be perfectly honest, we are making within the like $150,000 per year range between the two of us. And don't get me wrong, we can live a decent lifestyle. We are able to pay our bills, we can afford our groceries, we can go out to eat a couple of times a week, but that's it. We can't really do anything else. And I remember growing up thinking if you had a $150,000 household, you were it. You were making the big bucks, you were making so much money, you could live in luxury. But no, $150,000 salary, it literally just affords us to pay our bills and not worry about if we can afford groceries when we get to the cash register. And it is just so messed up that that is the salary that you need to live a comfortable lifestyle. And not even a luxurious lifestyle, just a comfortable lifestyle, knowing that like we're okay. You should not have to be making $150,000 a year just to feel safe that you can afford groceries. And I need to stress, this is not a major city. This is Langley, British Columbia. This is a small city. Like, it's not Saskatchewan in the middle of nowhere, but it is still not a big city. The cost of living these days is absolutely fucked.
At this point, I promise y'all, I'm about to start eating out. $47.28. All vegetables. This is not even meat. Not even meat. I'm damned if I eat vegetables. I'm damned if I eat meat. The struggle is real. Woo! All right, bye.
The cost of living in the US is only going to get higher. It will never be lower. And it's simply because all the companies that run the US want to make their money. Within the next 10 years, US citizens won't even be able to buy a house anymore. All the houses are going to be bought by most likely hedge funds or people who are doing it right now, and it's going to become a renter's nation. Also, inflation is going to be higher, and the US dollar is going to be worth less as well. There's absolutely no way the US will ever fix itself. It's already too far gone. Nobody's going to be able to survive in the US in about the next 10 years. A lot of people will be very, very poor. There's going to be no middle class either. It's going to be the ultra rich, and then everyone else will be poor. That's it. The middle class is not going to exist in the next 10 years. And it's sad it's going to be that way, but the people who run the US are companies, and they run everything for profit. All the politicians are bought. They're all lobbied by these massive companies. So people who think, oh, you know, these politicians are working for us or this or that, oh, they can help us fix things. That's never going to happen. These companies are going to buy out these politicians like they've always done, and that's just the way it's going to be. Cost of living is going to get much, much higher than it is now. It's the reason why a lot of people are leaving the U.S. because they can't afford to live there anymore. So other countries are now more appealing.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Millennials are not living above their means when they say that $100,000 doesn't do for us what it did for our parents. What we're saying is it doesn't go as far because the cost of housing, the cost of childcare, the cost to live in general has gone up exponentially. I think kids is the best example of this. In the 90s, the average family had 2.5 to 3 kids, and the cost of daycare for like one of those kids was under $10,000. It says around $5,000 to $6,000 a year. The average cost of childcare now in 2023 is $16,000 to $26,000 a year, depending where you live. Where I live, the minimum's like $20,000 per kid per year. Okay, that's huge. That's a huge difference, right? And so they were having 2 to 3 kids. The average family in the US currently is having 1, maybe 2 kids because they can't afford more. And when you look at us and say you're living above your means if you can't make $100,000 work for your family, they're failing to notice that childcare plays a big part in this. The world mostly runs on dual income homes at this point. Most millennial families are a dual income home because they can't afford not to be. And that's partially because of childcare, but partially due to the cost of living and the cost to own a home, right? The average mortgage right now is over $2,000. It's like 2.5 or something like that a month. That's a lot. That's a lot for the average family. And then when you calculate the fact that they are paying $20,000 a year per kid for daycare on top of that, that's more than their mortgage. They're not living above their means when childcare is 50% of their income. And then the pushback is then just stay home with your kids. But if you stay home with your kids, you can't afford your mortgage. You can't afford your mortgage. You can't afford your phone bill and your Comcast or whatever it is that you have. And it's so funny because people will say like, oh, you're living above your means. We didn't have all these things. No, you didn't. But having internet and a phone now is a necessity. You have to have those things to have jobs and to stay connected to the world. Those are things you need. Take out cable. Sure, nobody needs TV. Take the TV away. My internet alone is still over $100 just for internet, right? Your phone bill is going to be $100 to $200 depending on where you live and how many people are on your phone plan. And if you need it for work, it's going to be higher than that. So the cost of living has gone up so much, and specifically with childcare, that we're not living outside of our means. We are scraping by just to pay for our kids to go to daycare so we can work. And then we get to do nothing outside of that. Don't eat. God forbid you ever order out. Like, really? We're supposed to live and suffer? For what? Because on the other side of it, I've definitely also heard a lot of boomers saying, I wish I didn't work my life away. Because the day I retired, I got cancer or I got sick or whatever it might be. Yet they're looking at us and saying, suffer more.
So I'm walking around Costco here and I'm noticing these prices. For example, these madras lentils, $15.99. I bought those a year ago for $6.99. I keep getting told that we got, 6-7% inflation. You gotta be kidding me. Let's look at what else we got going on here. We literally bought this chicken broth, $5.69, 2 months ago. Dang, this is the flour we were buying for $5.99 last year. a good deal. That's all you get.
I'm not lying in bed all day because I'm depressed. I'm lying in bed all day because I'm broke and I can't afford to do anything else.
So if you think that the interest rates are not hurting vehicle sales, you look at these vehicles, they've been here a while. They're all dusty. We saw them a couple of months ago and thought it was just some big fleet purchase. I mean, look at that, folks. This goes on and on behind me too. These vehicles are not moving. These are new vehicles. Clearly, there's something not right here. These aren't all under recall, maybe a couple of them, but not all these. So, folks, look at that dust. They've been here forever. There's something not right, and there are a lot of dealerships like this right now.
Well, here I am again at the Costco. You can see for $120 this week, just picking up some stuff, you know. Here we are. Take a good look at those prices, folks. And you see what you get for $120 at Costco in Canada. This is the best deal here ever, anywhere. $7.99 for a fully cooked chicken. I can't even buy a raw chicken of the same size for that price. It's ridiculous. But this is it. And they've got you thinking this is a good deal. What I'm thinking is, holy geez, how do people that are low income afford to eat anything? And you know, we all know if you buy in larger quantities, you save exponentially. This is why I go to Costco. I'm not a low income earner, and I'm not a millionaire either. But I work my ass off for my money, folks. I really do. And I'm so sick and tired of paying so much money in tax. To what? To save the fucking planet? Give me a break. I'm trying to save my own ass here. Never mind a fucking planet that's doomed anyway. This is what you get for 120 bucks. Costco, Canada. And before you start harping on me about other places, I get it. It's not convenient for me to take a day off work and run around all over the place trying to find a better price. You know, I make that judgment call. We all make the judgment call. I'm not trying to degrade anybody or bring anybody down with this. I'm just saying this shit is unacceptable for $120. There's no value to our money, folks.
I want to know how much groceries cost in your area, how much food it'll buy you, and how long it'll last. This is my receipt. I spent $99.39 and it got me 36 items. And of course I forgot to bring my own bag, so I had to buy 4 bags that cost 40 cents. And I bought 5 bell peppers, 3 ears of corn, a bag of organic carrots, 2 packs of blackberries, a pack of blueberries, baby Bella mushrooms, cheese, butter, yogurt, peanut butter and jelly, cream cheese, some yogurt for the kids, 2 loaves of bread, 2 gallons of milk, more cheese, popsicles, some candy, and some salad mix. I got some ground turkey and a pizza. I currently have 6 people in my household right now that are gonna eat this, and this will last, combined with a few things that I already have at home, about 3 days. The candy and the popsicles will probably be gone tonight.
Let's talk about how ridiculous it is to try and survive and live in the United States right now currently. Based on inflation, this home that you could buy for $1,785 in 1929, this home came with everything you needed to build a house. Plumbing, electric, wiring, trim, paint, everything. You had to build it, but it was $1,785. That's a 4-bedroom, 1-bath home. That home, based on inflation, should be $30,769.47. According to money.cnn.com, the average 4-bedroom home in the United States right now costs $363,401, or 11.8 times the inflation rate. So how did that happen, right? Inflation says that house should be 31 grand. Anyway, let's look at some statistics in the United States right now, kind of associated with 31 grand. The average compact car right now costs $26,000, so you could buy that. Mid-size car, 32 grand, too much. Couldn't afford that, right? That house should be cheaper than a mid-size car. Student loans, $37,338, also more. Food to feed the family of four, $12,565, or about 2 years of food costs for a family of four is what that house should cost. Average childcare expense, $14,760, and that's for one child. So if we multiply that by 2 for 2 children, it should cost you about 1 year of childcare to buy that house. Here's a crazy one, taxes to take care of a homeless individual. $30,000 to $50,000 a year today is what it costs to house a homeless individual in the United States. But based on math and based on the government's own calculation to calculate inflation, that 4-bedroom, 1-bath house should cost $30,769.47.